Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth Flipper. You know, I get a lot of messages all the time from people wanting me to look at their stores. You know, how come my items aren't selling? You know, what's the problem? I don't have all the answers, but I'm going to give some pretty specific answers to why your items aren't selling today. And remember, you know, this is anecdotal stuff, but it's also from experience. It's not getting into the algorithm and all that stuff. It's just some common sense reasons why your items might not be selling. We're gonna mix our topic in throughout the whole video. Have 15 sales headed out of here today. 14 on eBay, just one on Poshmark for right around 500 bucks, I think a little bit over. And we are gonna get into that topic, and I'm gonna address it in two ways. And remember, it's not specifics. I'm not getting into individual items, but I will talk about certain items, especially something like this for me. Some of you may remember at the 100-mile yard sale last year, and that was earlier this month for this year. So it's been a year on these guys, and there was like 10 or 11 of them, and a lot of them sold really quickly. These took a little longer to sell, and we're going to use them as part of our topic here in a second, but they did eventually sell. I have the prices. It's $10.50 plus shipping, $14.50 plus shipping, and $12.60 plus shipping. So they're all to individual people. After not selling for a year, we changed the price. Well, sort of. We put a 30% off discount, which changed the price, and they sold all three that quickly. So this is one of my answers, the total price, and that includes shipping. And sometimes it's not just the price. People look at the price and then they put calculated shipping in, but some other people have put flat rate shipping in that's a little cheaper, and so they don't calculate that into the total price. So probably what happened, I had a bunch of these. I put them all out there. There's only so many people who want these Exxon Tiger tails out there at all, right? And my price was competitive on those, and they sold, but we took people out of the market because I sold a bunch of them, and there were some of the others listed as well. And then these all of a sudden didn't become the price point that people wanted them at because there's less demand. And then maybe the market changes on them over the course of months, and you never go in and revisit it. And then eventually you put 30% off, and now you become the lowest, or one of the lowest, or at least competitive in the market, and you get a sale. So price is one of those things. If you've heard me talk about the Reseller Information boys over there on the Reseller Information Network on YouTube, they often talk about PPT, so pictures, price, and title. And so the second one here, and there's going to be more to it than just these three things because we're working off a couple assumptions here, but this one I think sold because the pictures were okay and the price was okay as well. And I say that because I don't always do good pictures, y'all. There are a lot of my listings that are not amazing pictures, and we've gotten better at it, and we're getting better pictures, but I'm still nowhere near as good as the pictures you'll see and those guys over there, and using AI now and all the stuff that you can do to make pictures stand out. And these right here, there's some Oakley, like ballistic, like, I don't know, there's glasses and then another frame and all that stuff that goes with it. And I think I paid $10 for these, I believe, and they sold for $105 plus shipping. And some of y'all out there take amazing pictures, and you use all of the tips and tricks and all the stuff to have them. I choose to do it quickly and to avoid a little bit of that, but on certain items, I don't, because you're competing against people to sell things. And we always talk about looking at the sold prices when you're pricing your items. However, it's also important to look at the listed prices, because if there are listed prices out there and you're going to be the highest one, it's going to be hard to sell it. So price is important for the selling price, but look at what you're competing against at the very moment that you're trying to sell it as well. Because you want to be competitive. You don't necessarily want to race to the bottom. You don't want to be the bottom one necessarily, unless it's a massive listed item that has a very, very, you know, if it's 100 items out there listed and there's only one sold in the last 90 days, then you better be the lowest price one. But if it's a decent item out there with a decent sell-through rate, then that's not as necessary. So we've looked at picture and we've looked at price, and the next one we're going to look at is title. But before we do that, I'm going to grab another sales. I think this is it. 200th. Yeah, that's it right there. 200th episode. $13.99 for that one. Title is also important. So, you know, if you're listing something like this, for instance, and I am guilty of this, and I don't do all of my listings. My wife does a few Bub's girlfriend does a few as well. And I look back at some of my old titles and I'm like, man, that is brutal. And sometimes we'll fix theirs. And sometimes I got to fix my own because I didn't do a good job. And sometimes I'll just steal a title for speed. It's got a high sell-through rate and it's like not that big deal. But if you're competing against a bunch of people for items, for sales, then think about it like this. Think about, I'm talking to the new folks out there. Obviously, a lot of you folks been around, know all this stuff already. But if you're writing a title, don't put, the size at the beginning. Don't put all the extras at the beginning. Get right to the meat of it. Think about if you were to look something up, right? If you were to look this DVD up right here, Family Guy should be at or near the beginning, and DVD should be at or near the beginning, and all the other stuff, 200th episode or whatever, all that other stuff should be towards the end. How would you look an item up? And that's the order of your title. Also, putting keywords in there that maybe nobody else has. I mentioned this when I was on the show for the Reseller Information Network, guys. If you can take somebody else's title, that's one thing, but can you add to it? Can you make it better? Can you put a word that might be searchable in a listing that maybe you're the only one who has that word, and you might only get a few more clicks, but for those people, yours is the only item that shows up, or it shows up at the top, and then you might get a sale. So not having completely uniform titles sometimes is a good thing. Now, if people are getting sales using that title, use that title for sure. But use keywords and learn those keywords, especially for things like hats and t-shirts that are helpful in order to get more searchable. And we're not talking about promoted right now and all that stuff, which can increase your eyeballs on your items or cross-listing. All those things can help. All those things can help get you sales. We're talking about the basic way to sell right here. So, and there's a lot of videos out there. I should probably look one up and show it to you on how to write a title for an item with the brand at the front and all that stuff. And sometimes you're fortunate and you have the only item out there like you have, and then it doesn't much matter. You just gotta do a decent job, and the person out there, maybe even the only one person out there who wants it, they don't have any choice but to buy it from you. And that's what happened with these right here. We bought a ton of these shoes for like $3 a pop. Actually, it ended up being less. And they're the only ones out there for some of these types, not for all of them. And this one we set our own price at, and we got pretty good money for it. This one for $44 plus shipping. Had to run back inside for this next one as well. And this is something else that I wanted to talk about along those same lines. This is a Falcons jacket. It's Reebok, so it's not, one of the vintage, really awesome ones that you can get, $60, $80, $100, $200 for sometimes. But it was still in good shape. It was a good size. I think I had it listed for 30 something. And I took an offer on Poshmark for $28 plus shipping. And that leads me to something else that I talk about from time to time. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth for just a second here, and then we're going to hit some more sales. Turner's got to come out as well. We'll do a few gifts. We'll do all that stuff. But people say you have to promote your items in order to get sales. Well, that's just simply not true. However, I'm going to say a couple things here. Promoting items comes in many different fashions and forms. The whole idea about promoting an item, whether it's on eBay or other platforms or anywhere, is to get more eyeballs on that item. People who aren't seeing something will never buy it. And so all of those things, price, pictures, title, all that stuff increases traffic. There's also other things that increase traffic, like in your description, certain keywords in your description, full description, all kinds of things like that. You have item specifics that if it's all filled out, it's going to help. I choose not to do a lot of that stuff. I choose not to promote most items as well. That's my choice. There's a lot of folks who do it and get sales from it. But just remember, there's lots of ways to promote your items. So this is sold on Poshmark, for instance. It's the same idea. You're paying for this one way, shape, or form to get more eyeballs on something. Whether you're paying eBay a promotion fee to get more eyeballs on it, whether you're putting sweat equity into it, you're posting stuff on Instagram, you're pushing stuff out there in different ways, that's still paying for it too, because you're paying a time price as well. And so there definitely are different ways to promote things, but there's also an opportunity cost with all of it, whether you're paying extra money in fees, whether it's time involved. Maybe you're paying a listing service. Most are paid, some are not, but you're still putting time into the cross-posting of it as well in order to get more eyeballs. So we use List Perfectly, which costs money, and I'm getting this sale even though I didn't promote it on eBay, for instance, at a higher rate. It still costs a certain amount of money because you got to pay List Perfectly. And so everybody's making choices, and you got to make the choices that make sense for you, for the type of item that you're selling as well. And so I'm not opposed to promoting things. I do it all the time. This show is a constant promotion of all kinds of things. So it's just different ways to do it out there for different folks. And whatever is working for you, that's what you got to keep doing, and you got to be able to adjust if things aren't working. Speaking of promoting, whenever I have Reagan in here, don't forget your sticker, CommonwealthPicker.com, or like today, Kristen bought plans for the Commonwealth Picker shipping table over on CommonwealthPicker.com. That is a promotion. And so think about it. You know, I'm not gonna, you think I'd ever get a sale for that if I never mentioned it? I probably wouldn't, you know, unless somebody's searching my website. But this was a promoted item, sort of, because it costs money to get it up. It costs time to get it up on Poshmark. So I want to talk about one more thing that is actually more important than all of those things. I'm going to pick up this item first. And it is another Hogan skull cap down to 4. I mentioned on the last episode we were down to 4, and this actually had sold before before that video ended. I just didn't ship it. And these are going for right around 15 bucks. I think $15.95. It went out on best offers. $14.35. Not best offer, send offer. I don't do best offer very much, but I might be doing it in the future. $14.35 free shipping. I think the single most important thing in getting sales, now all those other things that we've already talked about have to be in place, and y'all can agree or disagree in the comments below, and I'm not even good at what I'm going to say right now because I do things a little bit differently. But it's plain and simply, do you have items that people want? Is there a demand for them? And is the supply not massive? Is the supply meeting the demand, or just above the demand, or just below the demand? It's sell-through rate, okay? And so if you have items that you're buying and you're only looking at sold comps, and it's like, oh, there's 4 sold comps out there, it's going to sell. But then you go back and look at the listed items, and there are 300 of them, and there are 4 sold comps in the last 90 days, that is going to be a really, really tough seller, unless you do everything we've talked about and have the lowest price and promote the item, and it's going to be really hard. So if you're having trouble with sales, it is more than likely one of these issues. There are other things that pop up, and the glitches and all the stuff that goes with it, and the seasons. People ask me all the time, should I list something, you know, for the winter now? And my answer is actually, it's a 2-part answer. Look, I just got a sale. It is June, for goodness sake. And we sold a jacket. So it's not like you can't sell these things. However, if I had a table full of items here and I was looking and I only had so much time, I'm going to list, you know, if I have a baseball hat and a wool sweater, I'm going to list this right now. I'm going to list things that are going to sell not just in the season, but I look at the next season. So as summertime approaches here and we get deeper into summer, you know, starting in late July, I'm going to start looking at that Halloween stuff. And yes, Halloween stuff sells year round as well, but it's going to sell better in August and in September than it is going to sell in, you know, February. Let's just face it. Occasionally you don't sell things because you have mistakes in listings that cost you sales. In this case, I got a sale, and then I found out that there's a mistake in the listing. So I have to send a message to this person. So they were listed as men's gloves, and they are definitely women's gloves right there. So I'm going to pull it, but I'm going to end up probably almost 100% chance after I contact the buyer refunding their money on that right there. It did sell for $32 plus shipping, but these are clearly not men's medium fingerless Harley gloves. These are women's. What I don't think I mentioned is some people choose to promote in a slightly different way as well, which is by sending offers out, 5% off, 10% off, 20% off, or running a sale on items that have been in the store for a while. This one was, I think, a 5% offer. It might have been a 10%, I'm not quite sure, but it's this Magic 8-Ball from that Family Guy lot back there in that video we did with Mike Deathpile Picker and Rod Picking and Punching. $16.80 maybe? Plus shipping, $16.20. plus shipping. And this one looks like the first viewer sale of the day from Chuck. Been watching your YouTube videos for the past year or so, and I'm always learning so much about selling on this platform from the information you sell. I am now selling on eBay full-time since retiring. As a fellow educator, retired in 2022 after 35 years. Whew. I couldn't make it. I tried. I see your passion for teaching in each video. Keep up the good work. And he loves that the family's involved. Chuck, thank you. Enjoy your retirement. I have stopped selling a lot of Nerf stuff, but I still had some left over, and I'll still pick some up from time to time, and now I don't know where it is. I think it's in the bottom of this bin, unfortunately. And it was in the bottom of that bin. I had to take that one out, slide it over, and dig. It's in the bottom because it's been listed for a while. I do still like selling accessories to some Nerf stuff, and that's what we have here. And these sold for $25 plus shipping. And it is time to announce the winner for the American Bubble Boy 700 feet of bubble wrap, and we've been doing one every episode. We still have like 7 more to go after this. And the winner, I had it in my head here and now I don't have it, is Cuteness Overload is the winner for this episode. Any comment below in this video gets you entered into the next video, and then I'll send you a code, and then you can go in there and get it for free, and it'll get shipped to your house within 2 days, which is really cool. Hey, I'm curious if anybody used my code Commonwealth, for the new tape that Joel has. Guaranteed, I think, thickness and the length that's supposed to be on it. Of course, I'm curious to, I have a box. I've had a box. I haven't used it yet, but I am curious to know if folks out there have and what you think of it. It seems really thick and sturdy. So, at any rate, let me know if you've got it using my link or anybody's links. Doesn't matter at this point. I just am curious to see what you think of it out there, to give Joel some feedback. So, congratulations to that winner, and to everybody who's won so far. 7 more. I think I don't know if this one that he's giving away comes in 2 rolls, 350 feet apiece, or if it comes in 4 rolls, but it's 700 feet either way. I have had people ask lately if there is a code for the bubble wrap for Joel. There is not. I'm working on it. Come on, Joel. 5% at least, you know. But there is a 5% off code. In my case, Commonwealth. But there's a bunch of people out there. Feel free to use anybody that you enjoy watching their content. And that is for 5% off the new tape that he has. I pulled this out earlier today because I was looking for something else and I saw it, and I knew that it sold this like vintage dollhouse table set. And it wasn't branded. And, you know, sometimes people say, you know, don't buy anything unless there's a proven sell-through rate. Well, sometimes you break those rules and it works out. And we did here. And this is just a wooden, looks like it's hand-painted. Sold for 20 bucks, I think. Let me look and make sure I'm right. $19 plus shipping on that right there. And we had another viewer sale. I know it's a viewer sale without even looking because it's an enemy. And y'all see, we are down. We need to, maybe we'll auction off one of these, the big giant head covers. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. But I have a little surprise for just, I think, 4 more. I might have even said it on the last episode, where I had somebody call me up that found 4 of them. And so we are going to auction those off as well. So we're up to, I guess now, 8 more left. So that's very cool. Thank you, A Renovative Home. I think I mentioned it on the last video. But this one right here, tiny flaw, you know, we call them misfits because we're down to the bottom of the barrel here. And so we're getting some misfits. But that one sold today to a viewer. Second viewer sale of the day. Thank you. And I think we have one more. Thank you. Been stalking these for a while. Still learning, or excuse me, still listening to the Godspell record that I purchased from you. Thank you. I remember that. I am Child of Enroth on eBay. I think I read that right. Inspired by your videos for over 2 years. Be well and be safe. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope he gets things moving for you. And sometimes you sell things that don't have a great sell-through rate because you didn't pay for them, and that's what this is. Oh, actually, I did pay for it. I bought it for my wife a couple years ago. She wanted it, and then she changed her mind, so we sold it. This Pioneer Woman butter dish, $10 plus shipping. And it went to Eric. I've gotten out of the reselling game due to it being more of a second full-time job than a hobby, the way that I ran it. But I very much appreciate the knowledge and entertaining videos you supplied me with on your channel. Well, thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. And I don't know, maybe you can make it back into a hobby somehow, some way if you enjoy it. But I understand what you're saying. So thank you, and I hope somebody out there enjoys that butter dish. We got a little bit more in the video today, and I'm waiting outside here. Turner's got to tell a joke, and then we're going to play some catch. And I thought I'd show you the critters, and then we're going to go back inside and talk a little bit more. Look at Boots wanting to get in that room. No cats in there. All right, Turner, you've got a little joke for us about girls and baseball. What is it?
Why do girls love baseball?
Why do girls love baseball? I don't know why.
Because diamonds are their best friend.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend. All right, so you're smart, right? You know all about baseball?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question, see if you know some answers here. How many outs in an inning?
How many outs in an inning? 6.
Very good. You know, have I asked you that before?
No.
Most people say 3, but they're wrong, right? I thought I'd trick you, but you tricked me. There's your favorite cat behind you. Nobody else likes that cat, but Turner loves that cat, and that cat loves Turner. So, thank you, buddy.
Bye.
Wallen just turned around Reagan's chair. All right, just one person to thank today, and one little announcement, actually. All right, go ahead.
Mary got a gray CWP shirt.
Okay, thank you, Mary. And we are going to have a new product. I don't know if it'll be out by the time you see this video or not, but it'll be out soon. CommonwealthPicker.com, and it's something people have been asking for. So you can go check that out over there in the merch store. And
bye, and don't forget to get your sticker at CommonwealthPicker.com.
I told you I needed to get caught up, so I've got a few of the packages that folks have sent me here, and this is just amazing. Iowa Barnstormers. This came from Jonathan, and he says he was a Rams fan growing up, but when Jerome Bettis went to the Steelers, he became a Steelers fan. Piece of history for Kurt Warner, so thank you. It's a very, very kind gift from you. YouTube J6 Flips, Instagram J6 Flips. That is super cool. So thank you for that. ADH Dave, there you go. Look at him stealing my business here. Trash to Cash stickers, CommonwealthPicker.com. But if you want a glittery one, you know, go ahead and go to Dave's. And then ADH Dave Picks, ADH Dave Flips. Dave, we're going to put those back there. Can't wait to see you here, bud, in a couple of days. And we have Pearls from the Past. Thank you. Part of the Discord over there, Trash to Cash Discord. We appreciate you very much. And this is Aaron Brockovich, and this one here is Rain Man. Really cool sealed VHS to add to my collection. Thank you, Shiloh and Samantha. Pearls from the Past. Very, very kind. She says she had to reopen the box and hide the sticker to make sure the post office didn't get mad, because they tell you you're not supposed to put anything in there with media mail, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. This is a little thing we bought off of a Whatnot auction the other day for a charity fundraiser, and it came in today. Taylor Watford Foundation, and it is 1thrifty_mom, and that mom looks like a 0 there. You guys are awesome, so thank you very, very much for that. Thank y'all. Hey y'all, 2 more things out here. First off, if you are an experienced flipper, you've been selling a long time, you know, add to what I've talked about today, because I can always learn, and everybody out there can learn from you as well. If there's anything that you think we could add to that. And I just wanted to tell everybody thank you. You know, we've been out here doing quite a bit of work lately. We've got tons and tons of inventory that we have got to get through, and this is the picking season. And we're about ready to head back out, believe it or not, I think we're going to the 301 here this week, which is really cool. Hope to see some of y'all out there. There may be an announcement we made. I was talking to Dave, ADH Dave, and seeing if maybe we would have some kind of a meetup or something, or just a meet and greet or something. Nothing amazing, but we might be doing that next Friday evening. And keep an eye on Garage Sale Nation Facebook group for that, or the Trash to Cash Reseller Facebook group as well. But a big thank you to y'all for joining us. As always, hope you guys are doing well. Hope your sales are doing well. Give me an update below, and be looking out for next video, and we can have another winner for the American Bubble Boy Bubble Wrap. Thank y'all. Can't wait to see you next time.